In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Bloomberg to pull information on earnings reports. I'm going to use Dollar General. They reported earnings just last week, so when I'm logged into Bloomberg, I type the ticker for Dollar General, DG. You can see it's down here. You can click on it. That will take you to a menu. You want to go to GP, the line chart, or you can just type GP. And when the graph comes up, there's a place you can check here called Key Events. If you click on that, you'll see it will bring up earnings reports. You can see wherever the E's are, that's their earnings. So if you click on the E, it brings up the earnings report. You can see they reported $1.48 and the market was expecting $1.48. So that's interesting. We also see the prior quarter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do output to Excel, and I click this button up here, output to Excel, and that will open an Excel file for me, and it will give me the information that I need. So it may take a second for it to load, but you'll notice that it shows their current report for the period ending January 2018, and then you want to look at the previous quarter as well, January 2017. And so you're going to see their earnings actually fell some from $1.495 to $1.48. The earnings are actually down a little bit. And so when I did that, this comes up in Excel, gives me the dates. So the ones I'm interested in are the current quarter and 1 year prior. And so we're looking at actually the comparable earnings versus the estimate. You can see they were right on there. Their actual reported earnings was slightly higher, but not tremendously different. So they were right on what the market needed. So I'm going to change the name of this worksheet to do earnings per share, because this is earnings per share. I'm going to go back to Bloomberg. And up here, instead of doing earnings per share, I'm going to ask for revenue. So I click on the revenue button, and again, I get the exact same information. I'm going to output that to Excel. And then when it comes up in Excel, I'm going to select all of it by clicking the little triangle up at the top, do Control-C to copy. I'm going to go back to the other spreadsheet that has my earnings per share. I'm going to add a page. I'm going to paste that. I'm going to change that title of that sheet to revenues. So now I have revenues. The problem is when they do revenues, they put this B at the end of it for billions of dollars. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust that number and take out the B. I'm going to do it in millions. Do the same thing here. Take out the B and add 3 zeros. Then I'm going to go to the quarter prior, so you want the current quarter and you want the quarter 1 year ago. I'm going to do the same thing, adjust the number, add 3 zeros, adjust the number, add 3 zeros. I need to also do it on the estimate. So now we have all the data we need. I'm going to change the format to this so it's in commas with no decimals, commas and no decimals. So now I have my earnings per share, current quarter, expected, prior year quarter. I got my revenues, current quarter, expected. You can see they missed slightly on the revenues, prior year quarter. Now I'm going to go back to Bloomberg, and now I'm going to choose the gross margin. The exact same thing here. I'm going to output it to Excel. Select the entire thing, Control-C. Go back to my other Excel. I'm going to create a sheet, paste it there. Call that sheet gross margin. So I got my revenues, and the same thing here. I'm going to mark the current quarter and the prior year quarter. You can see their margins actually beat, the gross margins beat a little bit, and more importantly, their gross margins actually expanded, which is pretty amazing for a firm like this. Their gross margins actually expanded a little bit. And then the last thing I'm going to pull is their EBITDA. So again, we have their actual EBITDA and expected. You can see they missed there. So they beat on gross margin, but they missed on EBITDA, so there must be some expense issue or something going on with them. I'm going to bring that over to Excel. Again, select the entire thing and copy it and bring it over to this spreadsheet that has all of them. Create a new sheet and paste. I'm going to call this EBITDA and net margin. So what I need to do with EBITDA is I need to take the M off the end of that. So it's a number. Do the same thing with the prior year. I'm going to convert that to, I need to actually take off the period too. So it's in the same format as my revenues. Just for that quarter that I need, I don't need all the other quarters adjusted, so I can do the current quarter, I can do the prior year quarter, change these to commas so that they're easier to read. So just hit the comma and backspace to get rid of 2 decimals. So now I've got the earnings per share, current, prior, revenue, current, expected, prior, gross margin, current, expected, prior, and EBITDA, current, expected, prior. The only thing I'm missing is the EBITDA margin. So I can do actual and expected. So the EBITDA margin is EBITDA divided by revenue. So all I got to do is come over to the reported. I'm going to use the actual comparable. I'm going to go over and find revenues. And in that same comp column, I'm going to divide it by revenues. And that will give me my EBITDA margin. I'm going to copy that over to the expected. So you can see the expected 1205, the actual was 11.9. I can copy this down to the prior year. You can see how their EBITDA margin has shrunk. So I now have everything I need for the paper. I just got to discuss them. And so what we can do next, now that we have all our data, you may look here and see if there's anything else you want to look at, but those are the most important ones. So what I'm going to do again, I'm going to type DG again, the ticker, click on the company, and then over here I'm going to click on news. Right here, CN, number 5, company news. I click on that. They reported, if I go back to my earnings per share, you can see that the announcement date was 3/15, March 15. So I'm really interested in news that was on March 15. And you can see there's all these stories in Bloomberg about Dollar General. Dollar General surges, results dispel price war concerns. Just several articles. You just go down and find the date that is reported. You will find plenty of articles. Let's take this first one. If we click on that, here's the article. And you can actually email it to yourself. If you like to email it, it's also possible to actually save it. But probably the best thing is just to email it to yourself, and you'll get these articles. And these articles will show you some really good stuff that will answer the questions: why did they miss, why did they hit? So you can do pretty much everything you need for the paper by using Bloomberg. Thanks.